Question 16. How do I use comments within a JSP page? Answer. You can use JSP style comments to selectively block out code while debugging or simply to comment your scriptlets. JSP comments are not visible at the client. Question 17. How can I declare methods within my JSP page? Answer. You can declare methods for use within your JSP page as declarations. The methods can then be invoked within any other methods you declare, or within JSP scriptlet and expressions. Do note that you do not have direct access to any of the JSP implicit objects like request, response, session and so forth from within JSP methods. However, you should be able to pass any of the implicit JSP variables as parameters to the methods you declare. Question 18. Can I stop JSP execution while in the midst of processing a request? Answer. Yes. Preemptive termination of request processing on an error condition is a good way to maximize the throughput of a high-volume JSP engine. The trick, assuming Java is your scripting language, is to use the return statement when you want to terminate further processing. Question 19. Can a JSP page process HTML form data? Answer. Yes. However, unlike servlet, you are not required to implement HTTP protocol-specific methods like doGet or doPost within your JSP page. You can obtain the data for the form input elements via the request implicit object within a scriptlet or expression as. Question 20. Is there a way I can set the inactivity lease period on a per session basis? Answer. Typically, a default inactivity lease period for all sessions is set within your JSP engine admin screen or associated properties file. However, if your JSP engine supports the Servlet 2.1 API, you can manage the inactivity lease period on a per session basis. This is done by invoking the HTTP session setMaxInactiveInterval method right after the session has been created. Question 21. Can you make use of a servlet output stream object from within a JSP page? Answer. No, you are supposed to make use of only a JSP writer object given to you in the form of the implicit object out for replying to clients. A JSP writer can be viewed as a buffered version of the stream object returned by response getWriter, although from an implementation perspective, it is not. Question 22. Can a JSP page instantiate a serialized bean? Answer. No problem. The useBean action specifies the bean name attribute, which can be used for indicating a serialized bean. Question 23. How do you prevent the creation of a session in a JSP page and why? What is the difference between include directive and JSP include action? Answer. By default, a JSP page will automatically create a session for the request if one does not exist. However, sessions consume resources and if it is not necessary to maintain a session, one should not be created. For example, a marketing campaign may suggest the reader visit a web page for more information. If it is anticipated that a lot of traffic will hit that page, you may want to optimize the load on the machine by not creating useless sessions. Question 24. How do you connect to the database from JSP? Answer. A connection to a database can be established from a JSP page by writing the code to establish a connection using a JSP scriptlet. Further, then you can use the result set object res to read data in the following way. Question 25. What is the difference in using request, getRequestDispatcher, and context, getRequestDispatcher? Answer. Request, getRequestDispatcher path. In order to create it, we need to give the relative path of the resource context, getRequestDispatcher path. In order to create it, we need to give the absolute path of the resource. Question 26. How is JSP include directive different from JSP include action? Answer. When a JSP include directive is used, the included file's code is added into the added JSP page at page translation time. This happens before the JSP page is translated into a servlet, while if any page is included using action tag, the page's output is returned back to the added page. This happens at runtime. Question 27. How can my application get to know when a HTTP session is removed? Answer. Define a class HTTP session notifier which implements HTTP session binding listener and implement the functionality what you need in value unbound method. Create an instance of that class and put that instance in HTTP session. Question 28. Difference between forward and send redirect? Answer. When you invoke a forward request, the request is sent to another resource 1 server, without the client being informed that a different resource is going to process the request. This process occurs completely within the web container. When a sendRedirect method is invoked, it causes the web container to return to the browser, indicating that a new URL should be requested. Because the browser issues a completely new request, any object that are stored as request attributes before the redirect occurs will be lost. This extra round trip a redirect is slower than forward. Question 29. What are the different scope values for the? Answer. The different scope values for a 1. Page 2. Request 3. Session 4. Application. Question 30. Difference between GET and POST? Answer. In GET, your entire form submission can be encapsulated in one URL, like a hyperlink. Query length is limited to 255 characters, not secure, faster, quick and easy. The data is submitted as part of URL. In POST, data is submitted inside body of the HTTP request. The data is not visible on the URL and it is more secure.